that one, trust me. Akali is banned away in the end as well. Renata alongside the Draven also denied as now there's no Akali. Are we just Larson classic Oriana-ing? Like, what are we going to do here?
I think it is. I think it's the Oriana. I think this is the only real option you can go for here. Like, maybe you go for a Syndra and try and play a range, but I think your damage isn't quite there then. So something that could, I was going to say, puts damage in, because I don't think you've got enough damage from just the Kalista. So Silas the Hover at the moment could fit in. Maybe you go for a little bit more of a tanky build so you can go into those early Merc threads and even the Hollow Radiance. But I think you then rely on Adam now to provide at least a little bit of DPS in his Bruiser to make sure that you're able to fill out just your damage composition here.
I'll be asking you about that Bruiser as we round out, because again, we haven't got top lane for Kana. Big Jace player with Xin Zhao as well. Do we just go the same direction? Also Targamas, maybe we're just shout-outing Reckless, because Engage also needed on the side of KC. Nautilus seems like the only thing left and available, unless you want to pick the Alistar into the Rel. Leona also a premier Engage support at the moment, and it looks like they lock it in.
It's not great into the Rel though.
Yep, well said.
So I thought they might go. I'd like Nautilus actually haven't the hater of, because I think you can still get the hook and at least try and play it out a certain amount. It does suck a little bit because obviously Rel can diminish your stun, or your shields I should say, but at least you got the point to click then for dealing with Patrick in the back line. But I think Alistar could have worked out a bit better, but here we go. Jace going to be taken. So I think kind of preempting the fact that chances are Adam is looking at something again like that Renekton and saying we're just going to try and take that away immediately.
Renekton into the Jace. Been seen many times before.
I think it
was Jax as an option.
I think this works,
Probably better, right?
Yeah, you could even, I think, go for something like a Gragas as well if you really want to.
True.
And then just try and wave clear, still set up for a good amount of damage in team fights. If you can knock something like the Draven back away as well, I think that can work out well for you.
I'll keep that into consideration for now. It feels like they're really seriously considering the Jax. For someone like Adam, I mean, we think about these wacky picks, but let's not forget, like, you know, Adam as well, situated top laner. AC are obviously favorites. They've done so well at the start of this split, and with their brand new roster, they are taking names. So can Rogue do the unthinkable? Can Rogue do the unbelievable? Only Giant X have been able to take down KC. As their week one was so damn hard, by the way. Koi, G2 were in the mix. They versed the top dogs. And now they're versing one of the bottom ones. Here comes Rogue for the invade.
So I'm wondering if Rogue are basically trying to force the split map here, see if they can punish Kana and get Adam out of the early laning phase, but it is a little risky. Like, you do have a good level 1, but you are also up against the Leona and the Draven, so you got to be a little careful, which is why they took at least a safer option. You've got the ward in bot lane to spot out exactly who's going to go into that bot lane, but there are ways for KC to try and play around that and avoid the 2v2 matchup if they want to. Or sorry, even force the 2v2 matchup if they want to.
Maybe assuming that Patrick and Execute are going to go there. For now, they hover. Blastcone going to be taken, though. No deep wards. Have you noticed, you know, in LEC, rarely do we get it, but now, Dagda, I get to press the button down there. This is a very, what do you say, Gen G, LCK style ward that we got a lot last year as well. And that was spotting the lane swap straight away. So you can see, it looks like what, Rogue using the information here.
Yeah, and I think that's why we saw Patrick and Execute kind of hovering more towards mid lane to see exactly what was going to happen before they really opened up on the lane. And now Kana going to realize, well, we guessed wrong, and he's going to be in a little bit of a difficult spot. Execute just, you always crash down as a Rel, gives you an extra little bit of attack range and also gives you the shield, so just nice for trying to look for the trades.
Disappointed his name is Executing Game.
Yeah.
We called him Jong-hoon. Of course, that is his last name, but also his old summoner name for those who weren't familiar with him. But lanes kick off. Now, the 2v2 mismatch yet again, just like the last game we saw, and already talked about it, you know. Blizz is going to be abusing Adam here. And I feel like, you know, last game, the problem we saw with Oscarinin was in the weak side lane, Jace just doesn't have as much survivability, something like a Renekton, maybe as a utility as Jace. Larson just got slapped a bit, by the way, just to keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, the lane swap's going to be big, and let's see how the dive is executed, how it's set up as Malrang pathing down. Right now, Yike hovering mid.
Yeah, I'm curious exactly what the game plan is, because oftentimes you are, as you rightly say, Jake, focused on the side lanes, but it is given a free lane to Vladdy, who's doing a very good job of trading against Larson in the mid lane. So no dive going to come in just yet. this wave is going to crash, and Targamas even resetting on that top side. So if they spot Targamas here, you could end up seeing a quick reset here from Patrick and Execute. I think they push this wave, reset, and go back top. Adam interrupted the reset from Kalisz. So KC were trying to force the 2v2, but Rogue actually prevents it. And now they're in a pretty decent spot where Patrick and Execute should hit level 3 off this wave, where Targamas now down almost a full level, essentially, to Execute after they clear out this wave. Targamas kind of needs to get some experience to match the support XP that he's lost now.
It's still hovering around. I mean, it's going to take a while. Might have to siphon off mid, but then that affects Vladdy's lane, which, playing in the range matchup, feels pretty good for now. Spots out Malrang here. Targamas just going to pop his head in. Larsen's also very low, but he's not going to try and commit to get that flash.
Yeah, now though, Targamas is going to get cut off, so Malrang level 4, level 2 Leona late to the party, and Kana might be the one left holding the bill.
Arctic Assault over, just set out for Flail, and with the Permafrost and Rel, how easy's that first blood? As Targamas shows up a little bit late here, and KC, I mean, the bullying of Jace, just like last game, continues again.
Yeah, he should be able to TP back in at least, you know, start to push out this wave, but it was a nice early game from Rogue. They prevented the reset from Kalisz. He's actually going to TP to the top lane, but prevented the reset from Kalisz so that you don't get the matching lanes. And then, unfortunate for Targamas, I think he just needed to sit on that bottom side a little bit longer. Thought maybe, with how low Larsen was, he could make a play in mid, but Larsen backs off, and then he's just desynced from the bot wave.
Malrang also getting earlier tanky stats thanks to the fact that he got first blood. Not as detrimental as you think. Close! That would have been a nice backstop, as wave not going to be stopped here, by the way. It's too close towards the enemy turret, so Rogue are fine to just walk this out. And this Jax, you look at bot as well, Dagda. Adam's just walking to lane too, so he saves his TP.
Yeah, now Rogue going to be able to come up here and answer. Now the wave is slowly, I believe, going to start to push out against Kana here, so this is where now he could end up with the wave frozen on him for a little bit as well, or at least lose out on a lot of the CS. Okay, Patrick's just going to look for the crash, but still, did they just dive again? Is that here? Malrang's in position.
He didn't burn his flash before. Kana, he saved his, which is good, but if he dies here, I'm going to sound like a broken record like I did with Oscar Rinnan, then he's going to have to walk back to lane and he'll lose a lot. Dagda, he's a very smart man. Not only does he have the looks, but the brains to show me that Targamas is walking top.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be here in time again, though. Kana having to give up another wave. This is so painful as a Jace.
Such good zoning, and the power of Rel being tanky, having good bit of burst damage with all the crash down as well, by the way.
And the thing is, every single time this is happening, Kana's having to give up a wave, give up a little bit of CS, whereas Adam has been able to soak all of that CS because he's only in the lane against Kalisz. So you can see he's just ticked over to level 6, actually has the CS lead for himself as well as a tiny little bit of gold, but it does mean that he's in a much better spot. So once again, when Kana and Adam start to meet up against each other, it favors Adam and a potential all-in that regard with Malrang.
The big bonus for KC right now is the fact that Yike's getting solo experience around the Dragon and will be picking up this first objective. Grubs being started though. As we've seen, Grubs have a lot of potency still in League of Legends. They spawn, Malrang starts.
And Adam has TP to be here. Kalisz now only resetting, so he's going to be late if they ever try and make a play on this top side. So it means that you've still got the opportunity for a 5v5, or Rogue just say, no, well, we got one grub. We're kind of happy. Maybe we get a second one here with the smite. And yeah, should be able to get it.
I feel like calling them grapes now. That's great.
And Patrick?
Patrick is dead? Question mark? He's dead! Kana flashes on his face. Now, Kana should be dead in return, right? Now that the flash is gone, it's a good sidestep, but yeah, with Sejuani here, it's just that easy. KC going to turn into a brawl as we look towards mid, but maybe we should look towards top. Chaos Storm, but not Chaos Storm. And in the end, I like the chances of Rogue as Adam gets a TP and flashes straight in. The feat of warfare. Those are some good-looking feet.
But that's why I was surprised KC actually tried to commit to that. We said Kalisz was late. You have the TP on Adam, so he can always join the party, or he just goes for bot wave. It was a doomed situation from KC. They really should have just gone for the waves and looked to fight for the next set of grubs, but instead now they end up losing the grubs and they end up giving over kills to boot.
Looking towards mid as we were on screen. Vladdy didn't use his Chaos Storm, by the way, in that whole extended trade. It's fun that mid laners are fighting amidst, but Rogue, as I said, feats of warfare now secured, 1k gold lead, and really good early game so far. I mean, great proactivity as this 1v1 happened in the midst.
Yeah, Kana just, excuse me, sorry, have to chase down Patrick and get the kill here. Flashes forward to make sure they can get the definitive Q damage off, and then gets the auto, and then tries to play around Execute here. You can see changing into the hammer form, but just barely gets clipped by the crash down. I think he could have knocked Malrang away and maybe set up for at least a little bit more time here, but Targamas, again, you're only level 3 Leona.
Yeah.
We talked about him trying to run everywhere on the map, but means now he's a sitting duck when Rogue come to find him.
And look at live now as well. The flail's out once more. There's good damage, but Kana survives. Gets a little bit of trade back onto Adam. Actually, a really nice burst that comes through as well. While the setup for the bot dive, Kalist is level 6. He has the Whirling Death and doesn't even need to use it. Comes out late, maybe execute. It's gonna be executed. Kalist with a cash in and then some. Once again, 2 days in a row, the Draven got money.
Yeah, a lot of money because he's about to get some of these plates on top of everything as well. That was much needed for KC. Like, some of the plays are starting to sneak back. Kana getting the kill onto Patrick, and Patrick again falling down. It was like good openings from Rogue, but KC kind of just outplaying in certain situations.
Yeah, there's certain moments, like we just saw, that have just pushed KC into a massive gold advantage, a 1K lead. This is what happens when Draven, you know, in the lane swap as well, we got to mention, when you're largely uncontested in CS and you get free stacks as a Draven, when you go back and, you know, execute that dive, when you give Kalist an opportunity to cash in, he cashes in big as the BT already almost completed.
And it's just the case of how you want to try and utilize the Draven now. So it looks like they're going to send him back up towards the top side. It's a minute 20 until the Void grubs, and I think they're happy to just try and force the 2v2 now. Kalist being level 7 as Patrick has just ticked over to level 6, plus the item lead. Even though Targamas is down, I think just the sheer force of will Kalist is on the map right now is going to work out well for KC.
You see a Larson thinking about coming top in case something's happening. Some pings are going down. What are we pinging the Nexus turret for?
They want to go for that next.
They want to go, okay.
You just really want to proxy.
Casey,
You've been watching,
like, defend that.
watching the boss, you know?
Yeah, okay, we'll go deep.
On me? On me? Yeah.
On me. On me. KC, I want turret plating for Kalist. Obviously, just going to keep pushing in as Grubs. While I do watch Grubs do some damage to the turret, spawning in 35 seconds, so being topside right now seems very relevant as both these top laners, I could say, would have TP, but it'll only be Adam who will have that in time if there's a fight up there. While Kana, he's just used his to get the bot.
Yeah, so KC are kind of in a bit of a precarious situation again where because of the TP usage, they don't actually have any way to force the 4v4 because they can always end up in a 5v5. And the tower can be traded on the bottom side, but you're giving over potentially 5 grubs to Adam, which is never going to spell well. So Rogue trying to now force this, but they do need to be a little careful they don't take the poke, because that's kind of where KC, a lot of their help will come from off of Vladdy.
How short range are they as well, right? Like, we're now seeing it in fruition, so even though numbers look good as Adam has now moved towards mid, and as we said, you know, Kana can't join in with the TP, they're still trying to poke them down. KC ignoring grubs for now. Rogue finding 4, or rather it's going to be 5, so the grub trade is no trade at all. 5 grubs to 1 is what KC have as in turn engages. Beautiful! The Shattering Strike can follow through the Fate's Call as well. Yike gets out, but for how long? Patrick's picked up the first kill of this little charade as KC now come in, look for more, but Rogue give them none.
Great turn from Execute, realizing that he just had that chance to take an extra member with them from KC, so Targamas falls, and now, honestly, Kalist has to be a little careful on this top side, because Malrang's still there. He can always come over the wall, and looks like instead Rogue are going to back away. I wasn't sure how much they want to try and commit for the tower, but Kalist is going to look for the interrupt and will actually find us.
Only on to Execute, but for what that's worth, the support slower to base as he goes back towards his turret. Kalist, I think he's sitting on enough gold now to get BT. Maybe he just thinks about the boots, thinks about the tier 2 boots. We'll just see. He's got another wave to play for as well and get that push in as teleport's going to be used to defend top.
Yeah, it does mean he'll be a little late for this dragon. So tower going to go to KC. Kana should at least, or sorry, the plate's going to go to KC. But Kana again, like, he's now sitting on a ton of gold. Your Draven's now sitting on a ton of gold. So it's just, even though KC are getting some nice plays, it's the smart map movements from Rogue that are working out well for them, where they're in the positions that they need to be. And this was kind of similar to what happened yesterday with Fnatic as well, where Rogue just played really well in the early game on how they are positioned on the map. Really good understanding of lane swaps, but KC just haven't been able to keep up.
Look, I don't want to get too excited. Regardless of the outcome of this game, I'm enjoying, more than last year, I'm really enjoying watching Rogue. Now, last year, obviously every team has their identity, but Rogue, the development, and how they're playing the early game, proactive is going to be a word that we use over the next couple of weeks of broadcast, and then some, throughout different splits. And Rogue trying to get these lane allocations right. You can see with Silas top, trying to get the push in. Adam doing the same, but they're setting up all for this starting dragon. which would be Dragon number 2 of the game. KC picked up the first one, and there you go. Talk about proactivity. It's executed in, but he's getting bursted down. Kalist is a serious problem. Needs to be dealt with, but a whirling death helps up with Yike. And Yike helps up with Kalist as Dragon begins.
It kind of chased Larson down the lane, so Larson couldn't actually TP in. He's now going to do just that, though, and I don't think it's been spotted here. Darkness is dead. No, he's not. Maybe?
It may be. I mean, you're right. Larson's just going to one-shot him. Abscond Duck out of range. Gravity Field gets him. Larson didn't think he needed the flash. Maybe he should have just committed it. He has ult too. That's a shame. That's just a shame. That's all I can say.
Does mean Dragon goes over to Rogue, though, using that TP, but Kana's getting a lot of these plates, so that TP play towards the Void Grubs. Kana ends up with a couple of plates. Now he's getting the same on top side, and he's starting to eke back in towards a little bit of the, not quite at the XP side of things, but on the gold side of things at least.
Turret plating taken mid. Looking towards those first items, that's why it's pushing so fast. Vladdy might be in trouble. Execute, good sidestep from Vladdy. Gravity Field down as well. Larson steals the ulti, forces the flash out of Vladdy. There's a fake Chaos Storm following Vladdy for now, but he'll just walk it out.
Look at top side, though. They're collapsing on towards Kana. He doesn't realize it.
Oh, he might just have to die for it. I think he does, and he does get the first turret of the game, so KC picking up a feat while Kana's running for his life. This Jace, not sure how far he can go, as onto Adam the flash for flash. Malrun captures him as Yike is over the wall to help out. Wind becomes lightning and he stabs him. He swirls a bit. Adam decides to spin himself. So Kana will die, but Yike wants a trade. Stunned up, permafrost. I'm seeing a bop, a whop, and now a little bit more on top. Shut down by Yike. He goes in, he gets a knock up, and as Malrun comes back down, I think he's tanky enough, but a big duel will favor the Xin Zhao as a smite, a slow, a Q, and the Talons strike him down as Targamas missed, but he gets the ignite. Okay, how do you do? With a blast cone out, Targi now needs a Zenith Blade, but Patrick is out of range and he's running into the fog of war.
He's trying desperately to run away. I think he needs to pray to all the saints right now that he gets out of this one, but can he find his way? Looks like he might be able to. Dodges on the wave. Good call from him there.
Shh, Dagda was hiding.
Yeah, it was really smart. So he waited for the minion wave to go past, then hit the blast cone so he could actually get into push. So nicely done. But here, the engage comes through. Great sidestep. Oh, and the stand aside onto the Kalista as well. Means that they just end up going that little bit too deep for him. I want to see here. So flashes away, doesn't get the... Yeah. That was so well played by Kalist.
Oh, it's a shame we didn't get to see that live. We were looking top, of course, with the brutalizing action between tanks. But Kalist, I mean, the French fans haven't been disappointed, have they? They came into the league, and do you know how many times, if it's LEC, LPL, LCK, LTA, how many times a player gets hyped up, comes into a league, and falls short? I feel like it's 9 out of 10. Kalist is that one person, you know?
He's him. He's delivering. He looks fantastic.
He is being him this split.
Yeah.
And I'm not just hyping him up because we have a large French audience here today or people watching online. I genuinely think this guy is red hot.
Well, he needs to try and do that once again. Stepping in here, 3-0 on the Draven. But can he try and carry this fight? KC trying to set up Vladdy a little bit pushed out. Execute has a good position. No real vision for KC.
Larson stolen the Crescent Guard. 2.5k HP, and there's a steal. How did Yike get it? Solar Flare stops Rogue as well. Targamas done a good job, and they've actually picked off the pieces. How? First of all, Yike. Second of all, Kalist. Third, Kana's damage, and the execute not there. But KC are now finding the fight, and Rogue have had it stolen away from them, just like the chances in this game.
Yike is the best smiter we have in the league.
He is.
Every time he goes in for a 50-50, it feels like it's a 90-10 for the enemy jungler. Like, this man is insane.
He is also him.
It's just... It feels like, again, like there was so many eyes on Yike coming out of last year. You're like, well, you're on G2, mate. So obviously you look good, right? But Yike has really impressed and shown what he has learned on his time with G2. But feels like he's now taking it to a new level where he is leading this team literally from the forefront here as he starts to go in, gets the smite.
Oh my God.
And is able to do so much again. Even the knockback, the Crescent Guard there, interrupts, executes the crash down. And now Targamas wants to kill Adam.
I mean, now it's a 5k gold lead after that fight, and now after the TP, it's going to be more. Adam is going to counter-strike, but you know he's dead. Stand beside is only going to thrive for a little bit. Vladdy gets a kill on Adam. Kana defends mid. There is no counterplay here from Rogue. They're committing teleports on top because they know they need gold on this map, Dagda. But KC just kept taking it all, and with Herald as well, it's just suddenly not the Rogue game anymore. It's not the Rogue show.
No, it's Rogue who are actually going to try and go for the tier 1 on top, but KC looking at tier 2 on bot lane. 25 seconds until Dragon Kana.
Malrung wants an ulti, but it's on cooldown, so he runs into Fog of War. He's tanky enough for now, but that ulti is going to have to buy him time eventually, but will he be dead before it does? Kana says yes, as top is the focus, but you can see bot is getting taken in inner. Yike pokes. He goes in. Another Crescent Guard and a Man of the Moon. Following Execute, sending him out. It is his game as well. Yike is massively ahead. Bot fell in the end, giving more gold to the solo lanes. And Dagda, like, KC, I think this is a big hand stiff game. And KC is showing us why.
Yeah, they're playing fantastically when it comes in towards, well, just outsmiting, outperforming, outplaying. And now they might be out-dragoning them as well as they turn over towards that next objective. Adam in the area, but you've already committed a lot here on Rogue to trying to push back KC. And it looks like instead they're overloading the top side. But Karna, aware that this is probably the vulnerable part of the map, so rightfully backs off.
What can Rogue get right now? Dragon's going to go down to KC. Artican spawns in a minute. But Dagda, I mean, it's kind of taken me by surprise because it was partially that one part around Herald, but it's also the fact that, you know, Kalist held onto his gold lead from the early game, of course. And also the fact that, you know, Kana just came back in after we saw that early kill against him. His Jace is really damn good.
Yeah, it's been sick. And the fact he's managed to pick up like a lot of the turret plates in that early helped out massively in that regard. So Rogue now kind of pottering around the map, hoping they can find something, but they don't really know what they're supposed to be asked. So KC kind of happy now to just chill. There's 15 seconds until Atakan, so they're just going to try and set up control on this bottom half of the map so they can always look towards that. But
which one will it be? Let's wait. 5 seconds.
Do you want to take a bet?
Ooh. Voracious.
I wanted that.
Oh my god.
Do you want to go for the other one?
Every time. We have a graphic waiting for when Ruinous Atakan spawns. It will not be used this split, I guarantee you.
There's going to be a graphics producer that has to go into the depths of the basement, brush off an old hard drive that has this.
Ah, yes.
And then try and make it happen. But KC, back in this game, going to be taking Atakan without much contest here. Again, poke, relatively good.
Kalista's soloing it.
Yeah, he's got the lifesteal on it, and he actually can't poke. Like, he's the one member here that doesn't need to be part of this formation. So like, cool, we just take it right from under your nose.
Atakan, and now we win the fight, don't we? Because KC run in, and even if they die here, it won't matter, but Larsen's going to die first. Electric field from Vladdy. Like the eel that slithers on Summoner's Rift. You don't know where it is because I haven't spotted it to you as KC run up this lane. Yes, Adam's going to get an inner, but I think the base is going to be torn apart by KC.
Especially with the Rift Herald as well. Like, that wasn't used, so now they're going to start to focus this down. Adam going to reset, but yeah, I think they should get another charge off here.
Why don't we end, says KC, and they're going to go for the Nexus turret. Malrun gets poked, Execute gets poked. Nexus turret number 1 is going to drop. Yike flashes away, but the GA is still available. Targamas jumps in, but you know what? They're not going to be popped. KC are going to end here.
Holy
21 minutes. Execute with a great engage, but Draven will one-shot you. Fate's call, an open Nexus, and they're playing to end the game. KC are getting low, and even if they withdraw here, it doesn't matter, because Rogue has to get blown apart as Kana dies in the end. That Nexus is bare, and you know it's only a separate time, or rather, a couple more minutes before KC finish the job.
Yeah, I think this game's over.
I think so too.
After that play, this game is very over. We're not even doing a replay of the Atakan fight. It's just like, look, you all know what happened there. Instead, we're just going to go for this. Make sure that we're able to catch as KC tear through structures. They get the CC, so they're able to kill off Malrang as well. And it is at least a good hold with a good engage from... Never mind.
No, never mind, because he's dead. Adam in the ground, and they'll just go up mid this time. The defense coming from Larsen and bot to make sure that super minion wave doesn't give free access for KC, but it'll still be like a 25-minute game.
This is incredibly impressive from KC. It has been aggression from the get-go. And look, you have champions that spike really well off 2 items, but I don't think that's even the talking point. It's just the entire thing is gone awry for Rogue, and they're just kind of hoping they can slink into the darkness without getting caught by KC.
This is one of those games that's really hard to find MVP. You have plays from Kana. You have Yike steals. You have Vladdy, who just played a great game of League of Legends. Pretty standardized. And Kalisto and Targamas, who once again are firing on all cylinders. This duo still looking really good.
Just a reminder, there is a bear nexus, so those super creeps that are turning their way through that bot lane,
They will.
are very quickly going to do some damage there. So,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to roam over, which means KC, just like cool, we'll take the entire top side. 2 minutes, yeah, until Baron. Great. Sounds good. Maybe a third Drake, just while we're chilling for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, putting your feet up. You've already done all the hard work.
You have.
Now you're just rolling off of that, what's it, passive income? Yeah, passive income.
Yeah, that's right. They've invested in some stocks. And they're getting the dividends, you know?
Yeah.
You know, right now in this game, you know, Rogue are just sitting back. They're kind of the ghosts of their children's futures.
Explain.
I can't.
Yeah, I saw you Google a quote and then just say it. It's like,
Look, last game, I said something in relation to Interstellar. It was on my mind, and then I'm still on the page. And so now the next quote is just, we are the ghosts of our children's future. And I'm like, how do I weave that in?
You did it flawlessly.
I did it flawlessly. There's one in here that just says, no, it's necessary. How would anyone know that's a quote? That's just words.
It's also in Dodgeball for way more of a famous reason. So let's, but anyway, we'll move on from it as we start to look towards the rest of the map. Baron is going to spawn in a sec. Dragon has been successfully secured. I don't really know how Rogue is supposed to do much here. Any ideas?
Nope, absolutely none. You know, Dagda, I don't know if Rogue are afraid of death, but I know they're afraid of time. As I've gotten older in life, that means so much more to me. Just don't look at my screen.
That's not part of the quote. That's just what they wrote on Reddit.
That was afterwards.
That was just the user.
But I thought that seems, I'm like, that's so relatable for me. That seems so relatable. Okay, Baron's up. Let's have a go. Rogue need a miracle steal. They're 10k gold behind, and you know, Kalisto is soloing another objective again because BT Draven doesn't really die unless he spends enough time in here. He's going to need some help eventually as the draw-in's not there. He spams his classic emote as Larsen's flank could be mind-breaking, but as the TP comes through, now they're going to come in and just win the fight anyway. Larsen, a good attempt, but Kalisto once again just breaking bones. And execute, no, but a Malrang flash, yes, as Yike slows them all down, and Rogue have just been sandwiched once again. Yike destroys Adam on the back end, and with Targamas' help, this will be the game. 26 minutes. Pick a lane, any lane, and KC will end.
Great stuff from KC. Rogue, again, showing that they are very, very strong when it comes towards lane swaps. But unfortunately for them, just don't really know what to do after that stage of the game.
The Nexus turrets are back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do we have to? Thank you. We get to bring up the 3 minutes. Woo! Beautiful.
They are back.
Yeah.
But Adam is still dead. Oh.
Is Kalisto?
Yeah, I mean, that was almost a kill by Kana, by the way. But Kalisto, he's just going to heal up. He looks low, but it doesn't matter. He sent out the ulti again. It's a 4 versus 5. And even though the Nexus turrets are back, even though you can't see a health bar, because for some reason Spectate just hasn't dealt with that yet, they're going to be targeted. They're going to die. I'm going to tell you the health bar right now.
Do you know what? I think these turrets are ghosts of their children's past.
They are the ghost of children's past. And I'll give you another one, Dagda. It's not possible, but it is necessary for KC to run Rogue into the ground. 23, 24 kills. And Larsen and Malrang will watch this end. Those turrets are dead, by the way. As we end this, KC, an absolute stomp. This is one of the best teams in the LEC, and they let Rogue know.